So here is a number that should bother you. The average new Hyundai loses around $19,000 in value in just the first 3 years. And the cars losing it the fastest? They're the exact same Hyundais that buyers are paying full price for, brand new, today. So today, I am walking you through 10 used Hyundais that make more sense than buying new in 2026. So we start small. The Venue is the cheapest Hyundai on the road, and a 3-year-old example now sits around $11,000 to $13,000 on the used market. A new 2026 base model, about $20,000. So that is around $8,000 in your pocket on a car that only lost about 35% of its value to begin with, which, by Hyundai standards, is honestly excellent. And here is why it works. The Venue runs a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder, no turbo, with port fuel injection, paired to an old-fashioned conventional automatic on most trims. No dual clutch, no direct injection drama. It is engineered like a Hyundai from 2010, and that boring formula is exactly what gives it long-term reliability. And because the Venue was never marketed as a status car, buyers just ignored it. So used prices stayed sensible. So what you get is a car that quietly does its job with the cheapest insurance in the segment, the cheapest tires, and parts you can pick up at any auto store on the way home. For a first car, a city commuter, or a second runabout for the household, the used Venue is a quiet little money saver. So this one is the secret of the used Hyundai market, and almost nobody's talking about it. The Ionic Hybrid was Hyundai's answer to the Toyota Prius, and it returns around 58 miles per gallon combined, which is basically Prius numbers, just in a Hyundai badge. But here's the part that really matters. A clean Ionic Hybrid from 2017 to 2019 now sells for around $11,000 to $14,000. A comparable Prius from the same years, $15,000 to $19,000. So you are getting the same fuel economy for thousands less because the Hyundai badge depreciated harder than the Toyota one. And the engineering underneath is genuinely solid. The Ionic pairs a 1.6-liter Atkinson cycle engine with a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. And before you panic at the words dual clutch, this is the wet clutch version, not the dry clutch unit that gave the early Tucson trouble. So it has held up well over time, and battery degradation reports through 2026 have been minimal. So if you want hybrid fuel economy without paying the Toyota tax, this is the move. Boring badge, brilliant numbers. So I have to be careful with this one because the Kona came 2 ways, and only one of them belongs on this list. The version you want is the base trim with the 2-liter naturally aspirated engine and the conventional 6-speed automatic. The version you skip, the 1.6 turbo with the dual clutch. And here's the difference, and it really is night and day. The 2-liter Kona runs port fuel injection, makes a relaxed 147 horsepower, and shifts through an ordinary torque converter automatic. The turbo version uses direct injection and a dry dual clutch, and both of those give owners headaches past 80,000 miles. So used pricing for a 2020 Kona, 2-liter sits around $15,000 to $17,000. A new 2026 Kona starts at $26,000. So that is roughly $9,000 to $10,000 saved for picking the right engine. So when you go to look at one, pop the hood and check the engine cover. If it says 2.0, you are good. If it says 1.6T, walk away. So this one is a hatchback, which is exactly why most American buyers ignored it brand new. And that is precisely why it is a quiet bargain now. The Elantra GT is a 5-door practical compact with European styling cues, and clean examples now sit around $12,000 to $15,000. And here's what most people miss. The GT was built on the same platform Hyundai used for European cars, so the chassis is noticeably stiffer than the regular Elantra sedan, so it actually drives well. Not just for a Hyundai in the absolute sense, the 2-liter naturally aspirated version is the one you want. So it uses port fuel injection, pairs to a conventional 6-speed automatic, real-world fuel economy lands in the low 30s, and the hatch swallows more cargo than a small SUV. And parts are dirt cheap because they were shared with the regular Elantra. So if you want practical, frugal, fun to drive, and almost invisible on the used market, the Elantra GT is just hiding right there. A new 2026 Elantra sedan starts above $25,000. The GT, half that. And arguably, the better car. So the 2020 Sonata redesign was, honestly, one of the boldest looking cars Hyundai has ever put on a showroom floor. Most buyers either loved it or hated it. And the people who hated it are exactly the reason you can buy one for around $15,000 to $18,000 today. So here's the trim that matters, the SEL, with a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. Not the smaller turbo version. The 2.5 uses dual injection, both port and direct, which gives it the carbon protection of port injection while still delivering modern efficiency. So it makes a relaxed 191 horsepower without any of the stress problems of the small turbo. And these years are completely past the older Theta 2 engine settlement era. So you're buying a clean, modern drivetrain, with the early launch year wrinkles already sorted out. So a new 2026 Sonata starts well above $27,000, and honestly, you are not getting a meaningfully different car for the extra 12 grand. Same powertrain family, same chassis, just newer screens. So the used SEL is the value play by a wide margin. So this is the one I quietly recommend to anyone asking me for a reliable used SUV under $20,000. The 2019 to 2021 Tucson with the 2-liter port injection engine. This is the engineer's choice, not the Instagram choice. And here's why. Port fuel injection means the fuel sprays behind the intake valve, which keeps the valve clean. So it does not build carbon on the intake the way a direct injection engine does. And it pairs to a conventional 6-speed automatic, not the 7-speed dual clutch that gave the earlier turbo Tucson its bad reputation. Now, is it slow? Yes. 161 horsepower has to move a compact SUV, and you feel it on highway merges. But that is the trade for an engine and gearbox combination that owners report hitting 250,000 miles on, with original parts. Used pricing now sits around $14,000 to $18,000. A new 2026 Tucson starts above $30,000. So you are saving roughly $12,000 to $15,000 for the slower but bulletproof version of essentially the same vehicle. So the Santa Fe sits in this awkward middle of Hyundai's lineup, smaller than a Palisade, bigger than a Tucson. And that awkward middle is exactly why it depreciates harder than either sibling, which, for you and me, is the gift. A 2021 Santa Fe SEL now sits around $18,000 to $22,000 on the used market. The new 2026 base model, over $34,000. So that is comfortably $12,000 to $16,000 saved. And the engine to look for is the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated, not the 2.5 turbo. The naturally aspirated version makes a healthy 191 horsepower, uses the same dual injection setup as the Sonata, and pairs to a smooth conventional 8-speed automatic. So what you get is a midsize family SUV with 3 rows of cargo room, all-wheel drive available, modern safety features, and the powertrain warranty still carrying over on the major bits. For a family buyer who finds the Palisade too big and the Tucson too small, the Santa Fe quietly fills that gap at a real discount. So this one is the secret luxury car of the used market, and almost nobody is shopping for them, which is exactly why the prices are so good. The Genesis sedan, before Hyundai split it off into its own brand, was a 263 horsepower rear-wheel drive luxury car that cost over $40,000 new. Today, a clean 2016 sells for around $14,000 to $18,000. And here's what makes it special. It uses the 3.8-liter port injection V6, which is one of the longest-lasting engines Hyundai has ever built. So you are buying a German-style luxury sedan with an engine that genuinely lasts past 300,000 miles for the price of a used compact crossover. So what is the catch? It is older, the infotainment looks dated next to a new car, but the leather is real, the wood trim is real, the chassis is genuinely refined, and the rear seat is bigger than most modern cars in the segment. So cost to own is honestly the surprise. Insurance is reasonable because the car is now considered old. Tires are common sizes. The engine asks for valve clearance checks every 60,000 miles. But past that, it just runs. So the Ionic 5 is genuinely one of the best designed electric vehicles ever made, and the early ones have already taken their biggest depreciation hit. A 2023 SEL long range, which originally stickered around $45,000 new, now sells used for $24,000 to $28,000. So that is a 40% haircut in 3 years. And here's why the timing is right now. The 2022 and 23 models use the original 800-volt charging architecture, which still lets the Ionic 5 add about 200 miles of range in 18 minutes on a fast charger. So you are not buying yesterday's technology, you are buying the same tech the new ones have, just at a 40% discount. And the battery warranty is your safety net. Hyundai covers the high voltage battery for 10 years or 100,000 miles. And that warranty transfers to you as the second owner. So you get a real luxury feeling electric SUV with around 260 miles of usable range while the battery is still entirely covered. So if you have been thinking about going electric, this is genuinely the sweet spot. The early adopters pay the depreciation tax for you. So this is the one. The number one used Hyundai you can buy in 2026 is a 2022 or 2023 Palisade in limited or calligraphy trim. And the math here? It is the most lopsided on the entire list. A clean 2022. Calligraphy with low miles now sells for around $32,000 to $36,000, the equivalent new 2026 calligraphy. Stickers above $55,000, so that is roughly $20,000 saved on a vehicle that drives almost identically to the new one. And here's what you get for that money. Nappa leather across both rows of the captain's chairs, heated and ventilated seats front and rear. Bose audio, the big panoramic sunroof, and the same 3.8-liter V6 that has been on the road long enough now to fully prove itself. And the 2022 and 23 model years are past the launch year recalls that hit the early 2020 cars. So you're buying the most refined, most sorted version of the first generation Palisade for the price of a brand new mid-trim Tucson. So for families, this is the smartest money in the entire Hyundai used market right now, hands down. So those are the 10. From the humble Venue at the bottom to the Palisade calligraphy at the top, every single one of these used Hyundais saves you somewhere between $8,000 and $20,000 over the new equivalent. And most of them give you a more proven, more sorted version of the same car. So the next time someone tells you a new car is always the safer bet, send them this list and subscribe so you do not miss the next one.